Welcome back, Canonites, for the kind of meh conclusion to Hunt the Signal. It was a grueling 3-ish weeks as people were scouring the net for clues, hoping to be the first to finish the game. Well, the hunt is, for the most part, over. The winning team has been declared, so a big congratulations to them. But of course, we're not here for just the news, we're here to examine those final steps and see what Hunt the Signal was all about. Don't get excited. Picking up from the last video, the hunt continued as teams sought out the Mjolnir circuits. Once compiled and calibrated, I suppose, players were led to a waypoint user by the name of Shale Dry, another anagram of Dr. Halsey. Through this user's posts and a series of puzzles, we'd eventually find ourselves at the digital doorstep of Halsey's archive. There, we were faced with a number of security measures, a game of chess against the AI Gerro, followed by properly aligning a series of firewalls that would scramble after 2 minutes unless you knew the proper alignment and the password. During the course of these tasks, Gerro would constantly taunt you, claiming his superiority. Once finished though, players were finally granted access to the infamous archive. Before we dive in, I want to talk briefly about the presence of Gerro. If you recall, Gerro was a very unique AI that Halsey utilized. Unlike other AI which required a huge power source, usually a starship or something below a megacity, Gerro could function on a basic PC. Now, Gerro was last seen with Dr. Halsey when she entered a shield world via a Swift-space portal hidden beneath the former world of Onyx. When she emerged on the other side, however, Gerro was mysteriously vanished. So, this begs the question, how is Gerro guarding Halsey's archive in 2558? After thinking about it for a while, I think I have 2 potential answers. The first option is that Halsey somehow uploaded Gerro to her archive before entering the Forerunner shield world. How she would have done this is beyond me, since the galactic internet that they apparently have in the 26th century has never been explained, but it would explain Gerrod's absence in Glasslands, the pseudo-sequel to Ghosts of Onyx. The second option, and in my opinion the more likely one, is that the Gerro we're encountering is a copy of the original. We know from Halsey's journal that the good doctor knew how to copy an AI as far back as 2552. This is why we see Cortana under sword base on Reach when we know she was also on the Pillar of Autumn. It's not all that inconceivable to think that Halsey could have made a copy of Gerro in a similar fashion to keep her archive secure. Moving forward, let's actually take a look inside Halsey's archive. We find a number of images, so we'll tackle them in an order which I find personally least interesting to most interesting, more or less. First up are a series of security images from Ivanov Station. Minus a shot of the docking station, the majority of the pictures are focused on the one station we know Halsey was present at during her time there. Why she would have these security images in her archive, I honestly can't say. Next up, well, I'm actually not all that sure what these are. Seismic data, planetary charts, I really can't say. The only image that seems to be clear is the last one, which would look to be a shield world, one similar in design to Requiem. I have my doubts about it actually being Requiem, but it is certainly possible. Perhaps it was something Halsey uploaded during her brief tenure on Infinity during Spartan Ops. The next series of images really stood out. Most are what appear to be viruses, if what I remember of biology is correct. Could these be the Flood's supercell? God knows I'd love if this were further hinting at the Flood's return. The last image in the sequence, though, is a DNA strand. Whom's is unknown. Potentially Flood cells and DNA samples? Perhaps this is from Dr. Halsey's examination of Sergeant Johnson during Halo First Strike. The final series of images were the ones that stood out to me the most, not necessarily because of their connection to the ARG, but to the universe as a whole. The final series of images are X-rays and an MRI of one Dr. Graham Alban. If that name doesn't stick out to you, I don't really blame you. It has only come up once in the fiction, at the end of Halo Mortal Dictata. Dr. Alban wasn't a big player in the Halo universe, so far as we know. The most remarkable thing about him was that he was part of the Spartan 2 program. His involvement led to his eventual suicide in 2532. I would assume these scans are post-mortem. However, Dr. Alban would arguably play a bigger role in death than in life. The good doctor was sure to kill himself in a way that would leave his brain intact. Prior to his suicide, Dr. Alban sent a letter to Admiral Margaret Perengoski, then head of ONI, outlining his wish for his brain to be used in the creation of a smart AI. Perengoski would fulfill his wish not long before the end of the Human Covenant War, using the doctor's brain to create a very familiar AI. Blackbox, or BB, as he was often called. From information in a few of these images, we found other leads that would eventually bring players to the endgame. One would lead to a satellite image of an unknown colony, and another would lead to this. The satellite imagery contained a hidden Forerunner glyph, and the image, when used in conjunction with the Halo Starscope, a website used to advertise Halo the Master Chief Collection, gave us a second glyph. There were 4 glyphs in total, the others found mainly through trial and error. These would then be entered into a final screen by each member of the team, which would then lead to a final congratulations screen. Just to note, the image that I'm displaying now is a recreation I made for the purposes of this video. The actual final message is only accessible via mobile. In short, the signal we've been tracking emanated from this one source, a mysterious Forerunner sigil. Look like anything familiar? Kinda looks like the Guardian, wouldn't you say? So, that's Hunt the Signal. Overall, an experience more frustrating than fun, but I'm glad me and my team saw it through to the end. Thank you, Hyper Neon, I'm Going Space, and Phantom. You guys are awesome. And thanks to everyone who helped us along the way. While the actual ARG is done, we're not exactly done with it. There was a lot of content that was cut out, and a lot of it would seem to hint at the idea that Hunt the Signal may have originally been an ARG for Halo Reach. But that's a discussion for another video. Until then, this has been Halo Canon, and I'll see you next time for some Canon fodder. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. It means more than I can express in a few minutes of audio. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share it around on whatever social media you see fit, and all that jazz. Thank you so much. Your support is everything. I would not be where I am without you. Thanks.